Hello there, this is Welsh ASMR 82. Hey, how you doing? So, in today's video, a football ASMR video, of course, we are going to be looking at the results from the last 2 match days in the World Cup qualifiers, mostly focusing on Europe, where we'll start. However, we have had some crucial games in Africa, in Asia, and a couple of important matches in North America that we need to check out as well. So we'll go through all of those. If you like to learn about football news, but you want it done in a more relaxed way, this is the perfect channel for you. So I hope you enjoy the video. Don't be scared to close your eyes and fall asleep if you want to, or just sit back and enjoy it. And we'll talk football for the next however many minutes this video lasts. Okay, so we had 2, as I said, match days. They were quite important right across the world, but especially in Europe, where we had some very shocking results for some matches, others very predictable results. So those were September's games. We're going to start off with October. Okay, so we had Finland beat Lithuania 2-1. They were losing. I was keeping an eye on this score as one of the first results of the week. And yeah, Lithuania were winning in the first half, but Finland got back into it. And then Austria destroyed San Marino 10-0 with 4 goals for Marko Arnautovic. Very impressive. And speaking of impressive, Rasmus Højlund's season has continued to improve since his move to Napoli. He got 2 goals now for the national team, with them winning 6-0 away to Belarus. It was a tricky game because, of course, Belarus aren't allowed to play at home. So you have to travel and play in front of an empty stadium. Where was the match, out of interest? Usually it's like Hungary or somewhere like that. Yes, it was in Hungary. Oh, there was apparently 11,000. I wonder how many were Denmark supporters. Okay, so next up we saw Cyprus very surprisingly draw with Bosnia and Herzegovina, who were top of the group at this point, with a 97th minute equaliser. Very, very good result for Cyprus against a Bosnia team that's flying at the moment. As I predicted, Czechia and Croatia drowned each other out with a 0-0. And then that result, which was Faroe Islands have had a fantastic couple of matches. 4-0 against Montenegro. I felt Montenegro were going to finish 3rd in this group and really take it to the top 2, but absolutely not. Faroe Islands doing brilliantly. And then the Netherlands beating Malta quite easily, 4-0. 2 goals from Cody Gakpo, Rangers, and Depay, who continues to do really well since his move to Brazil, of course. Stunning result for Scotland, well done to them. 3-1 winners. I didn't know which Scotland would turn up, I didn't know which Greece would turn up. They're both very inconsistent teams, but on the day can beat or take it to practically anyone. And yeah, it was the good Scotland and the bad Greece that turned up, so well done to Scotland. 3-1 winners at home. A bit of a scare because Greece went in front on the 62nd minute, but then Christie got that goal on the 64th, Ferguson then the winner, and Dykes with that goal. He tried his best to miss it, shooting high into the net after the goalkeeper spilled it under no pressure. But that's an absolutely sensational result from Scotland. Kazakhstan beating Liechtenstein 4-0, and then things were set up quite positively for Wales at this point. Belgium drew at home, absolutely battering North Macedonia. The goalkeeper had the game of his life by all accounts, and yeah, they just I watched their highlights, they just threw everything at them and they couldn't score. I did say the North Macedonia could get a result in Belgium though. In the background, of course, England were smashing Wales. Wales just didn't play anything like we normally would play at all. We never ever do play properly when we play against England for some reason. So yeah, that was a bit of a confidence that I really disagreed with the booking of that game as well. And the really fascinating thing that's happened out of it as well is that Wales lost about 2.7 points. And if we finish second in our group, which is still an if at the minute, we'll look at why in a second, we might miss out on being a top seed for the playoffs by 2 points. So if we hadn't played England, we played someone we could have beaten or at least had a draw against, then we would be top seeds. But it looks the minute, if Poland draw with the Netherlands and beat Malta, which is very plausible, they already drew in Amsterdam, I think, and they will surely beat Malta, then they would nick off the last playoff seed over us by like 0.75 points. So yeah, a little bit of a stupid result, stupid booking, stupid game. England played very well. Saka's goal was absolutely amazing, incidentally. Okay, back to the qualifiers. France beating Azerbaijan 3-0. Another goal from Mbappe. He's having a sensational season in front of goal. Germany beat Luxembourg fairly easily 4-0. 2 goals for Joshua Kimmich. I said that Ukraine would try and get revenge on Iceland. Oh no, sorry, not on Iceland, on Azerbaijan, who they drew with. All the same, Iceland very difficult to beat at home. So that is a fantastic result for Ukraine. Ukraine were winning 3-1, and then Iceland came back to 3-3, and then Ukraine scored 2 goals at the end, so absolutely end-to-end stuff, fantastic. Then Kosovo continued their excellent results by drawing at home to Slovenia. Northern Ireland, fantastic result, 2-0 winners over Slovakia, who are very tough. Obviously they've already beaten Germany in this group by 2-0. And to be honest, you know, they're not a possession-based team, but they had more shots on goal and more expected goals, did really well at home. This game was a little bit weird because the score would suggest that Switzerland outplayed Sweden, but they didn't at all. I watched the highlights, and to be frank, I think Switzerland were very lucky. I know that Sweden are playing awfully at the minute, and we'll come to that in a minute, because I've seen some news today before filming the video. Switzerland had the better chances, but they're all on the break, to be honest. The penalty at the end was a bit... the penalty to begin with, I don't think was a penalty at all. So yeah, I was quite shocked when the penalty was given, and then the end goal, obviously, when Sweden at home were pushing numbers forward and they hit them on the break in injury time. So a bit of an unlucky result for the Swedish team in that one. But Switzerland continue to do excellently, fair play to them. Latvia drawing with Andorra, excellent result for 10-man Andorra, because Latvia, as I've said a million times on this channel, very difficult to beat at home. Hungary beating Armenia 2-0. Norway hammering Israel 5-0 with 3 more goals for Haaland, who is now doing it for club and country week in, week out. Excellent result for Turkey away from home, 6-1. Goals for the usual team, Güler, 2 for Yildiz, even Zeki Çelik of Roma got on the goal scorers, so excellent game for them, after obviously the disappointment of Spain in the last window. Italy practically have to win every game now, so this was a must-win, and they did have a goal scored against them by a plucky Estonia team, but another goal from Moise Kean, who's playing well, despite Fiorentina doing quite badly in the league, and Esposito, the big young talent of Inter, doing well at the international stage as well. Heartbreak for the Irish. You know, Portugal are used to teams coming to Portugal and shutting up shop, but Ireland did a brilliant job of it. Obviously, they were all over them. 2 shots on goal, neither on target, 0.09 and 30% possession from the Irish. But who cares? They just wanted to get a result, and their hearts were broken on the 91st minute with a goal from Neves. Yeah, that's, brilliant result for Portugal, obviously, who I think are one of the best teams around. But Ireland, they really, really could have done with that result. Heartbreaking, I really feel for them. Spain beating Georgia 2-0, Pino and Oyarzabal with the 2 goals. Spain looking good to get into that World Cup, I think. I don't think they've officially qualified yet. I think only England have qualified from Europe. But I don't think anyone is really going to suggest that Spain can't qualify. The match that shouldn't be allowed to happen, of course, Serbia lost at home to a 45th injury time in the first half, which turned out to be the winner from Manaj from Albania. And, like I always say in this channel, which Serbia is going to turn up, the good Serbia or the bad Serbia? Actually, they weren't that bad, but they missed a host of chances, and as usual on the break, Albania punished them. So, yeah, that's Serbia's dream to get automatic qualification out the window. I don't know how they did, I can't remember in the Nations League, so it might be quits for them. 4-0 winners Cyprus over San Marino, so 2 good results for Cyprus in this window. And talking about excellent results in this window, oh my goodness, Faroe Islands have shocked everyone, maybe even themselves. So there's that 4-0 win over Montenegro, which was sensational. But then, the team that were at the top, joint top with Croatia, they've beaten 2-1. So Faroe Islands 2, Czechia 1. That's really dented Czechia's chances of getting first place. I really don't see Croatia dropping points in this group. I think Czechia had to try and get it through maybe, goal difference or something. That is really shocking. Fantastic result for the Faroe Islands, obviously. Well done to them. And then 4-0 winners, Netherlands over Finland. They just love scoring goals. Another one for Depay and for Gakpo as well. Scotland then nearly messed it up after that fantastic result against Greece. 2-1 winners over Belarus. Belarus scored a goal. It never should have been cancelled out. I'm glad it was, because otherwise obviously they would have drawn. But Belarus at times were playing some excellent stuff. They had a better expected goals, 22 shots to Scotland's 12 in Hampden. Like, it's unbelievable. They, but that's the sign of a team that wins, isn't it? Like a side that can win even when they're not playing that well. So, well done to Scotland. Croatia beating Gibraltar 3-0. Denmark then really dented Greece's hopes of trying to finish first or second in the group, beating them 3-1, another goal from Højlund. Poland beat Lithuania away, their neighbours, 2-0. And Romania actually got a result, everyone. Brilliant team, really doing very badly at the moment. I've talked to a couple of Romanians on this channel. In the comment section they say that the manager's terrible, but quite an unexpected win over Austria. So this group has really opened up. We'll take a look at it in a second. And then Iceland drawing with France. Now, I did say that I thought Iceland could maybe pick a point off France in this group. The only thing that they'll be disappointed about now is that result against Ukraine, because otherwise if they'd won that match at home, or even drew it, then they would have had 2 fantastic results back to back. But there we go, still an excellent result for them. And then North Macedonia, after drawing with Belgium, drew at home, were losing at home, but then drew at home to Kazakhstan, who I was really impressed with when Wales played them home and away. Last couple of games then, so Germany beat Northern Ireland just 1-0, apparently hanging on is what I read somewhere, hanging on at the end with Germany, so Northern Ireland have really, really, really improved. Slovakia beat Luxembourg 2-0, Switzerland could only draw with Slovenia, and then Sweden lost at home to Kosovo. So they've lost home and away to Kosovo. Quite surprisingly, there's just no goals in this fantastic team that they've got. They've got the talent up front, look at that. Berdival in midfield. Yeah, it should never really be happening. So they've sacked Jon Dahl Tomasson. goodness knows why Sweden had a Danish manager in the first place. I'm surprised that got past the fans. But now they've got Graham Potter, who of course managed for a long time Östersunds in Sweden. He's got a Swedish wife, he's got a Swedish passport, he speaks Swedish. So he's got them on a short-term contract. I think it could be quite a good matching, and they've got a guaranteed playoff spot because of their Nations League performance. So the next 2 games I think they've got sort of just get up and running, maybe get some results, try and get his play style across, and head into the playoffs. Then they're already guaranteed with that sort of attitude of, well, you know, we've tried it out in 2 effectively meaningless games because they're already out via the proper qualifiers. And then Ukraine did beat Azerbaijan, but only just 2-1. So a much better window for Ukraine this time. I don't know how much I want to talk about this next game. Wales 2, Belgium 4. We love conceding goals at the moment. We conceded 8 against Belgium, home and away, and this window we conceded, was it 3 against England and 4 against Belgium. We started off really, really well. Then there was a penalty that absolutely categorically never should have been given against Ampadu. But I think by the absolute letter of the law is a handball, which means that the law is wrong. Because if your hand is at your side and someone just kicks a ball at it, it's a guaranteed penalty. You know, back in the day, you used to have to put your hand to the ball for it to be a handball, not ball to hand. And it wasn't like away from his body or anything. It was just absolutely absurd. The stadium was absolutely bouncing. We were 1-0 up. They came down. De Bruyne, who obviously scores against us every time. He scored twice as many goals against Wales than he has against any other nation that Belgium have played. And yeah, basically he scored against us, killed the crowd, killed the momentum. They probably would have beaten us anyway, but we were on the up, we were all over them, and then they scored a really silly goal, but on a silly in terms of our defence. And then they got another penalty, which was more of a blatant penalty. A lot of the results weren't going our way. We sort of were quite angry and frustrated at this point. And then we scored via Nathan Broadhead coming on, and then Trossard just ran on the other end, literally like from the kick-off, and scored another goal. So our defence is just all over the place at the minute. We need to get a lot better. We did a lot better in the pressing. Our midfield was really industrious. We had a lot of things right, but obviously the result wasn't right, and we need to be, even under Robbie Page, we used to do better against the bigger teams. We used to just lose like 1-0 or something. But after the match finished, I sort of thought to myself, I was like, I don't mind losing if you lose, you know, excitingly. When we lost out in Belgium 4-3, it was really, really exciting. So Belgium, though, and I have had like a week before recording this video because I was so disappointed and upset afterwards. And as you know, the Welsh were very bad losers. Even though we lose all the time, you'd think we'd have good practice. And Belgium will not be a threat to the World Cup. I'm really sorry. If you're Belgian, you're watching, feel free to disagree with me in the comment section. They have one tactic. It is sit back, literally put everyone back, leave Doku up front and just ping balls to him and see what Doku can do. And it's basically the tactic that Wales used when we had Bale, and it got us to like a semi-final, so fair play. But yeah, I was really shocked. That was their only tactic, and Doku's just got so good now that you can't even man-mark him, but from a team with our ability. But if you do that tactic against France, Spain, Germany, Portugal, Argentina, Brazil, maybe, it's just not going to work. The Netherlands, yeah, Italy perhaps, it's just not going to work against them. Maybe you'll nick like 1 goal, but they'll figure you out in the end. You just need to press Kevin De Bruyne so he doesn't do any balls over the top, and just have 2 people marking Doku because no one else is attacking. Trossard was terrible for the whole match. He just literally got on the ball and and just put in the back of practically an empty net at that point. He didn't do anything for the whole match. De Bruyne didn't actually have to do anything for the entire match because he just sat back. Their middle two were absolutely amazing. They just sat back, deflected all attacks, and then just chucked it long to Doku, just long balls all the time. He was unmistakably sensational, however, like literally world class. I remember watching him as a kid and thinking, oh, he's just going to be pace and no end product. That is not true. We penned him in the corner at one point. Two defenders, I think it was Ben Davis and someone else, I can't remember who. And he just like literally dinked the ball through both, then nutmegged them both, and then run around them and got the ball again. I was like, oh my god, how do you defend against him? Diat is terrible, Tabast is terrible, Courtois wasn't very good, De Cooper wasn't very good, Meunier sprinted the entire length of the pitch to get on Doku's pull back and score. He had a very good match. Trossard was terrible up front. De Ketelaere wasn't that good, he came off. Yeah, it was just basically like the Doku show. So yeah, I wasn't impressed by them at all. But obviously they still beat us. So, but yeah, I thought we need to get a striker, or I mean, you obviously can't buy a striker at international level. But yeah, we need to do something with that forward position because it just didn't work for us at all. Harris is more industrial. Kiefer Moore sticks in the back of the net. We need someone to do both. So that's what we're missing at the minute. But Rodon had an excellent game. Thomas set up the goal. Wilson had a quiet game actually. He wasn't his usual self. And Nico as well wasn't able to like bomb forward. I think the formation is all wrong. We didn't play a back five at all. I think maybe we should have, because then we could have let Nico get forward a lot more. But yeah, we actually played a back four. Ben Davis was on the left and Nico was on the right. And because obviously they were guarding against Doku and Trossard, they had to stick back a lot of the time, so he didn't get forward, and he's one of our best attackers. Estonia then drew with Moldova, Andorra lost to Serbia 3-1, and Ireland got their little revenge against Armenia, goal from Evan Ferguson of Roma, and beat them 1-0 at home. That's obviously a massive relief. Italy then beat Israel 3-0, another 2 goals from Retegui and Mancini, also of Roma, before England qualified for the World Cup with a 5-0 victory. Another couple of goals for Kane, obviously having an amazing season. Portugal then could only draw with Hungary. Szoboszlai with a 91st minute equaliser after Ronaldo set a history record of how many goals he scored. Spain hammered Bulgaria 4-1. Another goal from Oyarzábal, 2 from Marino. He's really getting in the goals these days. And lastly, Turkey beat Georgia 4-1. Another goal for Yildiz as well. Let's look at the tables before we look at the other results. So Germany are still top on goal difference over Slovakia now. Northern Ireland still in the hunt with 2 games to go. They got Slovakia next, which is winnable. Switzerland have almost done it, but Kosovo curiously are chasing them. They got Slovenia next. Sweden, like I said, are out to this stage, but they've got a playoff spot. Scotland and Denmark neck and neck at the top. Oh, come on, the Scots. Then you've got France top of their group, Ukraine chasing them, really happy. I would love to see Ukraine qualify for the World Cup. Eternal guilt as a Welshman that we stopped them getting to the last one, to be honest. Spain practically through, but Turkey still technically can catch them. Portugal are almost through. I think the next result against Ireland should be the one that qualifies them. Ireland can actually catch Hungary into second spot, so that's positive. The Dutch are at the top. Poland are in second spot, and they play each other next. Not that I don't want the Polish to qualify, but I don't want the scenario where they take the top seed from Wales, so I don't want to draw in that match. I want the Dutch to win. Poland can still finish second, is fine. And Austria top, but this group is a lot tighter than it was in the last match window in September. Bosnia-Herzegovina are now all of a sudden Romania are back in the hunt for playoff. Norway are almost through, but Italy are trying to catch them as best as they can. Belgium are almost they'd have to lose against either Liechtenstein or Kazakhstan and draw the other game against the other team in order to not qualify top, so they are almost definitely through. North Macedonia's last game is against Wales. We've got Liechtenstein next. If we win it, we go level with points. We're home to North Macedonia then, but unless we beat Liechtenstein by 6 goals, a draw won't be enough. We do, however, probably have a playoff spot from the Nations League to fall back on if we fail. Seeming that Belgium couldn't even score against them home or away, I don't think the Wales will be able to. England are through, they're in the World Cup. Albania are now second, just 1 point ahead of Serbia. And Croatia now with 3 points clear after that Faroe results, Czechia result. But listen to this, Faroe Islands are in the hunt for a playoff spot for the World Cup. Now, I think Iceland are the smallest team in history. Oh no, so there's an African team that's qualified, we'll take a look in a second. But Faroe Islands would be by far, head and shoulders, the smallest nation to have ever qualified for the World Cup. So that is very exciting. Okay, let's quickly check out COMMEBOL's all but done. So let's do the CONCACAF because we had a couple of results there. So Suriname are top with Panama, both the same goal difference, I think it's on goals scored. And then Jamaica are top. Manager is Steve McLaren, of course, of Jamaica. Curaçao in the second spot. Honduras are in top spot there because of Costa Rica's number of draws, but they're catching up with them. They got Haiti next. So yeah, we might see 1 or 2 of the teams Suriname and Curaçao that have a lot of Dutch players for them. I say Dutch, obviously they're Surinamese and Curaçaoese. Curaçaoan, is that the adjective? But they play in the Dutch league, and they play for those teams via their parents, so they could be quite exciting to see some players that I'm familiar with from the Dutch leagues getting to the World Cup. In Suriname and Curaçao's cases, I think for the first time in their country's histories. So 2 games left to play, lots to do in CONCACAF. The Asian qualifiers are finished. We have 2 more qualified teams. They are Qatar and Saudi Arabia. There's like a mini tournament. UAE now have to face Iraq, and the winner of that game goes on to the continental playoff, maybe to play like it could be Bolivia from the South American teams, or it could be, is it New Caledonia from the Oceania? Someone like that. Okay, and let's finish up then looking at Africa. Oh, that's not Africa. CAF. So Egypt have qualified, congratulations. Burkina Faso are in second. Senegal are top, but DR Congo are in second spot with a game to play against Cameroon. Oh, I think, okay, that's something else. We'll come to that in a second. So South Africa finally made it top. Nigeria squeezed in to get second spot ahead of Benin, who must be devastated. But I can't quite imagine a World Cup without the Super Eagles. So South Africa were deducted 3 points for playing an ineligible player in the previous window and so dropped to second. Very scary, but they managed to get top and qualify for their first World Cup since their own World Cup. Cape Verde are now the smallest team to have qualified for the World Cup. They finished top ahead of mighty Cameroon. Morocco qualified Niger in second, but they are out. I'll explain why in a second. Ivory Coast finished top, they've qualified. Gabon are still in the hunt to qualify. And then Algeria are through, and Uganda finished second, but they are also out. Tunisia then finished top, Namibia finished second, but they are also out. Ghana finished top, Madagascar finished above Mali into second place, but without enough points to make it to the next stage, so they are out. Because the teams that finished second were entered into mini league of their own, and as you can see, all the points that they had in their groups were put onto this to rate them and rank them. So Gabon are the best. Nigeria were in 4th, so Nigeria have to face Gabon, and then DR Congo face Cameroon in order to get to the next stage. I think they still don't qualify for the World Cup even then. They have to go through the intercontinental playoffs, I believe. And that is Africa. Congrats to all the countries that have made it. So we've got a new one in the form of Cape Verde, and we welcome South Africa back to the finals tournament again. Otherwise, it's the usual suspects. I haven't seen Gabon with Aubameyang at a finals tournament, and DR Congo I've never seen either. But Cameroon and Nigeria, obviously big powerhouses. They'd be the favourites to get through. But it'd be really interesting if something new happened. And there you go, that's all your news, in a very calm ASMR way. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget, if you did, it would really help me lots and lots if you clicked like. Leave a comment. Are you happy about your team's performances? Do you agree with any of my outrageous opinions on formations and form and results? And don't forget to subscribe if you want more content like this in the future. We do club teams and then the internationals when they come around. Thanks so much for watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave me a little comment and let me know if your country did well or poorly, if you're happy or if you're sad. As a Welshman, I'm a little bit sad, unfortunately, but it's not over just yet. And if you love what I do, then join me on Patreon as well. Okay, thanks so much for watching, guys. Take care. See you soon. Bye 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 bye.